This first look is brought to you by the Arch Gaming Network. Now here's your host, Sean Smith.
Hello and thank you for stopping by. Today we're taking a first look at the game Girl Deathmatch. Yep, that is the name of it. And it is a dice drafting combat game for 2 to 5 players, where you're going to have these oversized dice that you will draft, different army types. Everybody will roll simultaneously, and then players one at a time will activate their cat girls, fighting the other cat girl opponents to the death. Yep, I just said that. And you'll get points based on how many cat girls you can eliminate, and if you're the final cat standing at the end of each round. It's played over several battles. This game is currently on Kickstarter. So why don't we take a look at the setup and how to play, and I'll give you my thoughts on the other side. Okay, to set up the game, each player is going to take kind of their player board here. Gives you an outline of the various actions that you'll see on the dice, and contains your tabby tomb. We're going to set up for a 3-player game. And then you're going to take the dice. Now the core set comes with 3 different armies. You have Sakura, the Samurai Siamese. You have Abby Kalishnikitty. That's quite cute. And then you have Bombay Betty. Just going to set those into the center of the table. Then you're going to decide who is the top cat, and now you're ready to play. Okay, so Girl Deathmatch is just that. It's a death match. So the object of the game is for you and your army of cat girls to be the last cat girl standing, and also to try and kill as many of the other cat girls on your opponent's teams. The way that the game works is first you're going to decide the length. A game can be as quick as just 1 battle, and a battle consists of everyone getting to play the top cat, and the top cat gets to go first in the round, first for drafting and first for activating their dice. Decide who's going to be the top cat, and then at this point you can begin recruiting your army. Now in a 2 to 4 player game, it's recommended that each player drafts 5 dice, and you do this one at a time. And for 5 or more players, that you'll draft 4 dice. So on your turn, you're just going to take one of the dice. It doesn't matter what's facing on the dice, because you're going to roll them after everything has been drafted. So now is a good time to take a look at each of the armies and what their abilities are. Now this first group of cat girls is the most versatile. They're called the Sakura, the Samurai Siamese. And this particular army has a side with 2 hits, has 2 sides with 1 hit. It also has a block, and it has 2 sides that has a rally. All right, the next army you have is a little bit more powerful, and that is the Abby Kalishnikitty army. And this one features 2 sides that have 2 hits, 3 sides that have 1 hit, and 1 side that has a rally. There is no block in Abby's army. Okay, and finally you have Bombay Betty, and she is the powerhouse army. She has 4 sides that have 2 hits, 1 side that has a rally, but also has 1 side that has a tragic accident. Of course, if you roll that die immediately comes out of the game. So now that you know what the different armies are and what their dice consist of, taking a look at this sheet that you get, you can see that the dice will have a hit. If they haven't hit, it's going to be either a single or a double hit. And when you activate that die, that means you will get to eliminate 1 or 2 other cat girls on the playing board there. Next is a rally. If you activate a rally, you'll get to re-roll any or all of your remaining dice in your camp. Next, you have a block. This allows you to stop 1 hit from an opponent. And after you've used your block, you'll get to re-roll this dice. If, of course, you instead you didn't have to use your block to defend during your turn or during someone else's turn, you could then use that as a rally as well. And then finally you have the tragic accident, which we saw on Bombay Betty. If that's rolled, that cat unfortunately gets immediately removed from the game. So again, starting with the top cat, all the players are going to start taking dice.
Oh yeah? You and what army?
Now, once each person has their army drafted, you'll just take the rest of the dice and place those off to the side. Right, the next step is all players are going to roll their dice. And then it's recommended that you place them in the type of order by the symbol on them. So this player here, that's us, we had 4 single hits and a rally. Over here we had a double hit, another double hit, another double hit, and 2 single hits. And over here we had single hit, rally, rally, double hit. For illustrative purposes, we're going to change this to a block. Now at this point, if anyone had rolled the tragic accident, that would be taken out of the game. But then starting with the top cat, you're going to activate one of your dice. I have 4 single hits and a rally. Not a great starting hand. I didn't get any double hits in there, no blocks. So I think what I am going to do is I'm going to activate my rally die, okay? And that allows me to re-roll any and all dice. And then I can line them back up. Well, this time I got 2 double hits, a single hit, and a rally. A much better round. But that is also my turn. This player over here can now activate a die. So it's going to go ahead and activate the double hit. And can target, let's see, we'll probably target this double hit here. And when you take a die, you'll put it in your tabby tomb. And the player who is activating, the activating player, gets to decide which dice they get to take out. It's not up to the player that owns that army. It's up to the attacking player to decide. And now he wants to go ahead and try to take this one out. But because this player has a block, she can come out and block him from taking that other die. And now that player will re-roll their block. And now we have a single hit. And now this is the end of the turn. They've used both of their hits. And now you just re-roll that die and place it back into your army line. It's now this player's turn. This player has double hit, single, and a rally. It's going to go ahead and activate the double hit. It's going to take out this person's, our double hit. And it's going to take out this double hit. This player's turn is done. He'll re-roll, another double hit, and now it's over here. Again, not much of a starting hand. I could activate one of my dice for a single hit, but I might try to get a block. So I'm going to unfortunately use my rally again, and I do get a block and a rally and a single hit this time. This player is going to activate, and it's going to go ahead and take out the double and the rally to try and stop that player from being able to re-roll her dice on the next turn. Now we'll roll. Uh-oh. On the re-roll, you rolled a tragic accident, so this goes out of the game. Now back to over here. It's going to activate this die. And knowing that I have a block over here, she's going to go ahead and target this player over here and then re-roll. And it's another single hit. Now play will continue going around and around until one player only has the last die or dice remaining. When that happens, what you're going to do, let's say we had something like this. Let's say this player was the last person standing. You get 1 point for being the last player standing. Then you get 1 point for every 2. So this player gets 1, 2, 3, and it's rounded down. So this player over here will get 1, 2 points. This one won't count. 1, 2 points. So it's 2 to 2 to 3. And that made up the first round of this battle. Again, you get to decide whether you want to do 1 battle, 2 battles, or a longer game. It's really up to you. There's no hard and fast rules to it. You're just going to keep playing until you've played the number of battles that you've agreed to, and whoever has the highest score is the winner of the game. Okay, so that is Cat Girl Deathmatch, and I have to tell you, I just about giggle every time I say that. I think it's a fabulous name. I don't think I mentioned in the intro this game is by Greg Spiritus. I apologize. Not quite sure of the pronunciation on that last name. I also want to mention that they contacted me and asked me if I would be interested in checking out the game and doing a review. I'm not being paid, I'm not being compensated for this review, and so the review is an honest review of what I thought about it. Now, normally I would talk about components. In this case, you know, because we're looking at probably these are prototype components. These aren't finalized in any way that I'm aware of. You can't say much about them. Now, I will say that I do love the oversized dice. I think that is kind of cool. If you look at the video that they have on their Kickstarter, it almost seems like maybe the dice are even bigger than these. Maybe they're not. Maybe it was just perception. I couldn't say for sure. These are a fine size, and they're easy to read. Obviously, I wouldn't want, you know, a final product to have them stickered. Hopefully, they'll be printed. And if they were a little bit larger, great. The dice themselves, again, I don't know if they're finalized components, but they're very weighty. So if you're playing on a wooden table, you might want to have a mat or a dice box for rolling, because 1, they're loud when you roll them, and 2, you may nick or, you know, scratch up your table just based on the size. They do have nice rounded edges. I mean, I'm not saying that they're gonna, you know, completely wreck your table, but we've noticed it's very loud rolling when we've played. Alright, as far as the gameplay, I've really had a lot of fun with this. This is a very quick game to play. It's very easy to teach, and it has a lot of fun moments in it. Because of the various armies and the way that you can construct them, you're definitely going to have replayability in this game. As far as a 2-player game, it's good. Probably not my favorite, because there's only one person you can pick on, and so there's probably going to be luck factor is going to be higher. Obviously, luck's going to play a role in a rolling dice drafting game, but at least with more players, it really opens it up to that negotiation with other players. Hey, don't attack me, I want to attack you, or they got more dice, or look, they have a double hit. Whatever the case may be, I've had more fun with it, obviously, with more people. Now, I like the variety in the armies. If I had to make a change, if I was able to make a change, I think what I would do is on the Samurai Siamese, Sakura the Samurai, Sakura?
What?
Anyway, this one. Alright. I probably would have 2 blocks instead of 2 rallies. I'd say a lot of times in the games that we've played, there are a lot of rallies, and I think you'd have a little more excitement if you would have added 1 more block and removed 1 rally, because every die has at least 1 rally on it. So a lot of times you'll see this army drafted the least. People might take 1 or 2 just so they can hope to get a block, but again, I would have changed it to 2 blocks instead of 2 rallies on that die, and I think you would see the game play mix up a little bit a little better in that scenario. I don't know much about the details of like what the stretch goals are for this game, but I can tell from the instructions that they sent along that there are symbols or actions that you can take that aren't on any of the dice that come with this core set, as they call it in the Kickstarter. There were actions in here. I don't have those on these dice, so I'm assuming there are other dice that might be unlocked during stretch goals, or maybe an expansion later on down the line. I'd be excited to see what some of the other types of actions are that you can take. So in the games that I've played, the scoring has been fairly close in all of them. Everyone I've played this game with has had fun with it. Like I said, it's a very light, combative game that does have some good replayability to it. And so, you know, I will leave a link below in the description to the Kickstarter page if you want to check them out and see if that's something that you'd like to get. That'd be great. I'm sure they would appreciate it. I'll be interested again to see what the final product ends up looking like. But for me, you know, again, I've enjoyed this game. So check it out. And while you're at it, why don't you please hit the subscribe button. Check out some of our other great videos. And once again, I thank you for stopping by.